So, by the way, to start, we're going to go in some history. Yes, it's always unscripted. Going on, this is Love. Hey, this is Love 101, the family station. The stage is what it is. And in studio, I'm hearing an echo. I'll see how we can deal with that in a moment. And I hope, I know the listeners that will be following will be letting me know what's happening. We are live on Love 101, the family station. We are on Love FM's Facebook page and on Love FM's YouTube channel. So you can see word and hear word. And there are some members who will not be in studio, but they'll be joining us remotely. Yeah. So you'll be able to see here and talk with them. So in studio, I have some members of the group Word. And the thing is, okay, I need to find a way for you to hear the line, but we'll figure it out. Yeah. So for those who don't know, introduce yourselves, members of Word in studio.
Evening, listeners. My name is Iban Hutton.
Yes. And beside Iban is Jason Anderson.
And beside Iban also, I'm Dave Hutton.
Okay, a relation between the Huttons?
I believe
I'm the good-looking younger brother.
Oh Lord, I won't get into that. I won't get into that.
Neither would I.
And online, we have Neville Oddman. Audie, are you there? Say something. Let me see if you're actually there. Okay. Now this is odd. I have Oddman twice. Maybe that's why. Okay. While we are sorting.
One went dead.
Oh, what's that?
I say one went dead, so I rejoined.
Okay, one went dead, so you rejoined. So I don't know which one I must remove now. Okay. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you
great.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. The guys here can't hear you unless one of them puts on the headphone over there. Maybe they might hear you. Okay, so where do we start? And I'm just going to ask a question.
As Bob Marley says, start at the beginning.
At the beginning, how did Word start? How, where, when, why?
Well,
who?
That's you, Iban.
I think if you ask each member individually, you'll hear the same story with a slightly different twist.
Okay.
For me, in 1989, well, Dave and I grew up loving a cappella music. Our father, Dave Hutton the first, he sang an a cappella group at our church, Rollington Town SDA.
Okay.
So we loved a cappella music. And every Sabbath we used to go home and listen to King's Heralds.
Wow.
You know, if we ever need it.
Wow.
And that kind of thing. So we love that type of a cappella singing. And then in February 1989, I saw Take Six perform that same song, If We Ever, at the Grammy Awards. If we ever, yes. Right? And I said, yeah, what else? I never heard anything like that in my life. And I said, what that madness.
So just pause. For you younger listeners, you need to look up King Harold's Quartet.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Which predates Take Six.
Yeah, man, they're from the
and then
60s up about
Take Six. Yeah, so they can understand the kind of influence.
So when I heard that Take Six, I didn't like them at first, and then someone at my church gave me a cassette. Mm-hmm. You remember those things, Nigel? Cassettes. Yeah. And
some listeners need to Google what that is.
Yeah, I listened and I started to appreciate it, and then some guys at church, were saying, you should form like a group or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ricardo Banzo, aka the Godfather, on May 27, 1989, Sabbath, May 27, 1989. That was Saturday for, he came to me and he said, he said that they're having a talent show or talent contest
Sorry,
for.
man. What did it happen in February?
No, I saw Take Six sing at the Grammy Awards.
Okay, all right.
And that kind of ignited that, a spark to form a group.
Yes.
So May 27, 1989, Ricardo Ebanzo said to me they're having a talent contest in the evening at we call it an Adventist youth program.
Right.
That's in the afternoon at church. And he said he wanted to form a little group and sing. So I said, sure. But he didn't say to me who else would be singing. Well, I think he said Dave, that's my brother. And I didn't know who else would be singing.
Mm-hmm.
No, well, a few weeks before that, I saw there's a guy, a visitor, I was coming to church. After a while, I found out his name was Melbourne Grant.
Okay.
Didn't know him at the time, but he used to come to church. And I used to see him around the place. And, I said, who that guy there? I'm going to move some. Who that, And then that day, so we came early to church that afternoon and meeting Junior for the first time. Well, Junior was Melbourne Grant. Me, Dave, Ricardo, and Melbourne, we got together and we sang that same song we heard Takes sing. If we ever...
And by the way, Mel just joined online.
Oh, welcome,
Junior.
Melbourne, aka Chukanan, aka Junior.
The Chancellor.
So we sang, a quartet of us sang that afternoon. We were under the name Ricardo and Friends.
Yes.
And
That was the name?
well, we didn't have a name, so they just said, Ricardo and Friends. And well, Ricky had said it was a talent show, but there's no talent show. I think we're the only persons who sang for AOA. I'm not sure where Ricky got that information from. So but after we sang, we said, I think 2 weeks after that, we said, let's get together and sing something else. So we got together, I think we sang, maybe it was Milky White Way or one of those King's Herald songs.
Yes.
Breath of Life, quartet songs.
Favorite. Must interject.
Right.
Must not forget. That's my favorite Take Six song. I'm not lying to you.
Yeah, but we didn't sing the Takes It version though.
I don't know if was that group was on before Take Six?
Yeah, man, Breath of Life quartet.
No. Maybe I said it, I'm saying it wrong. I know the song existed before that, but I don't recall it outside of a hymn because I know it as a hymn.
Yeah.
Because I have a hymn. I don't recall it.
I just enjoy his
it's my favorite.
interjections.
I'll tell you why I love that song. Because I remember my uncle passed away in 1991.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
And I remember when I went home like the Friday night, it was the same day he passed away. My Uncle Roy, Edgar Brown. And I heard that.
A little louder. The mic is over here. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we're hearing you. Continue.
Was it a Friday night? It may have been a Friday. I don't remember. But I remember hearing that song. It may have been the day he passed or the day after. And I just, from that day, I just...
Wow.
Yeah. Hands down, that's my favorite Take Six song.
So continuing with the history of work.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I think we sang Milky White Way or one of those songs, or no, I think it was there you go. I don't remember.
We're getting old.
Hallelujah, there be no sorrow. That song, no.
Okay.
So we sang that quartet sang about 2 or 3 times, and then we said, let's things are gone. We like singing together.
Yeah.
We said we're going to add some members. So Ricardo knew Jason, but I'm not sure where. Well, Jason can fill us in on that.
But the thing is,
Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody.
yes, Bonzo was what I call a nomad.
Okay, swing the mic around a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, Bonzo was a nomad in the Adventist church. I mean, he was just all over.
Okay.
And I sang in a different group. I sang in a group called Arpeggio. Don't
What?
ask me the meaning of that. Arpeggio. Yeah, this was a mixed group, male and female. I sang in that group, and occasionally Bonzo, Ricky would turn up on our practice sessions, which was a Friday evening.
Okay.
And this particular evening, he came and he, heard me, and he asked if I would join a particular a cappella group. At that time, of course, I wasn't really sure, if I should or shouldn't. And he just came with this offer. He heard me again at my home church, which was Minishtown Seventh-day Adventist Church. I think I sang a solo then. Then I was maybe 15, 16 years old.
singing second bass.
Yes, I was singing second bass at the time. Yeah, and again he approached me. So there was a friend of mine. His name is Randy or Adlai, who I said, I asked him if I should actually take the plunge, and he said, why not? So one Friday, I went down to Rollington Town and saw this group of guys, and it to me was a joke. I mean, all they did was laugh and talk. There was very little singing.
And as we speak, Mel is laughing.
It was a big joke for me, Nigel, because again, I was coming from a background or a culture where the music was serious. I mean, just like Iban, we listened in my household. We listened to a lot of quartet music, Breath of Life, King's Heralds, that kind of stuff. And I actually started singing in groups from I was 12 years old.
Okay,
singing second bass, and
you had second bass at 12.
Oh,
help us, Jesus.
The voice started to break, pretty early. And my very first group, I remember years ago, but the leader for that group was actually a military person.
Mm-hmm.
So he was very serious about practice. So that was my background, I mean, when it was practice time, it was the drills, the warm-up sessions, the whole bit. And then I transitioned from that to a group of laughing guys. So but if we were together for 3 hours, I mean, we'd sing for 25 minutes. It was just all talk, or mostly talk. So the vibe was good. But the singing, we didn't do much singing, and I was I was at a crossroads at that point. Should I stay here? And I'm not sure some of the conversations that we had, some of the arguments that we had, I'm not sure we can air. We can't talk about them.
Wait. I understand.
Later, here we are. Here, Junior is still dying. Yeah, Junior, please don't share. Please don't share. But yeah, that was my birth. Was through. I got to
so when did word become word?
Okay, so we added so it start with the quartet, Ricardo Banzo, aka Banzo, Dave, myself, Ivan, and Melbourne Grant, aka Junior.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sang, as I said, we sang about 3 times together, and then we said we want to get let's add some members. So Banzo scoped out Jason, and I think Adlai joined at the same time. Randy, Adlai, aka Randy, and then there are 2 guys from our church, John Mitchell and Neville Odman, aka Addy, or Patrick Odman.
No, Ivan. Addy was not recruited. Addy pushed himself into the team.
Well, yeah. I don't want to look so bad.
Addy begged to come in. Addy begged to come in.
Tell the story right. Addy was not recruited. Addy was a volunteer.
All right. Well, as I said to you, Nigel, what is it, Junior?
Addy was not recruited. We never got to Addy. Addy was singing with some other group before. I forget.
Yes. I don't say. Are you Unumoa sing with Selena?
Yeah, exactly. So I volunteer. Addy volunteer. Nobody never recruit Addy.
Right. So in fact,
what we learned
afterwards. So the Sabbath when Melbourne, Dave, me, and let me be grammatical correct. Ricardo, Dave, Melbourne, and I got together. And what we learned after was that before of us got together, Ricardo and Melbourne were rehearsing with Neville and I think Bob. Was it Bob? Junior? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Bob House.
But it never really worked out. So we became the first quartet. But so we jumped from a quartet to a. Well, I think 6 of us sang, maybe with Addy and John, and then the other 2 guys. So it became for the 4 original quartet. Then along with John, Addy, Jago, aka Jason, and Randy, aka Adlai. A lot of AKAs around the place. Nobody wanted to do.
And
word became word when?
Okay, then we said, we needed a name. So we threw around a few names. One was the Gospel Ninjas, but that too didn't sound too ministerial, you know. I think we even suggest Amen.
Yeah, I remember.
Amen, which I kind of liked, but
Christian Musha had.
but
Yeah.
yeah. So we settled on I think it was the word, and I think the day after we settled on that name,
No,
we
sorry, it wasn't the word. It was word. But people started introducing us as the word.
Oh,
well Banzo. Well, how I remember it, Banzo, is that we call her. It was the word, and then shortly after, in fact, I think it was the day after we decided on that name, we saw this group named the Word. You know, two white girls on a minibus.
Oh,
So we
okay.
said,
yes,
oh,
yes, I remember.
them name the word, we can't name the word. So
Oh,
we dropped the and just became Word.
That's true,
And we
yeah,
chose that
yeah, I
name.
remember that.
We chose that name because you know we are presenting the word of
the
God,
word of God.
right? You know, so that's how I remember it. And but I know even though we call ourselves Word, people would still call us the word
yeah,
for a
yeah.
little while,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's how we became Word. And then there's also Edgar Stone, aka Bob. He was Junior's friend, and both of them came from Mobe to live in some.
Disrespect. Disrespect.
So Bob used to, as I'm saying, move with it, you know. But in fact, Bob
Yeah.
called himself our manager, and manager at that time meant he would come to practice. He would sleep while we were practicing, and then we'd say, "Bob, how that's?" Him say, "Yeah, man, that's so nice." And that was it. Those were his managerial duties. But Bob used to come practice. So he would just kind of sing along sometimes, but never really sing with us. And then one morning, when we're supposed to sing, and I think Jason and Dave couldn't make it. I know that Bob kind of knew the bass, and Bob lived around the road. We run and wake up Bob about 10 minutes. I said, Bob, you have to come sing because you know. So Bob came and sang with us, and then he became the 9th member. So the first word was actually 9 members, 4 to 8 to 9.
Insane.
Then over the years it went back to 8. Then it ended up with 6 in the late 90s and so on. So that is.
I want to suggest that y'all get together and write the history, get it clear. Write Ricky and Mel, and
Everybody's version is different. It's like we have our own multiverse of this thing going on.
yeah. But at least spend some time to have a unified version, reasonably.
The one thing I know for sure was that Adi come and say, "Yo, man, I want to sing with them, and I want to sing with you." That's one thing that must be written in stone.
Adi, is that
Nigel,
yes?
Nigel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So, yeah, man. So that's quite true because I was singing with some older guys, right? But some big men for me still. I was singing with some big men. I mean, I know when my brethren them, play football with and clown around with, I sing because I remember going to Bobby's home when Melbourne and Richie were trying to do a little thing of AY, Adventist Youth Program. And I was around there practicing, but I didn't go to AY that same evening when they were going to sing. I kind of abscond with some extra, curricular activities. And next thing I know, Iban and Dave was singing with Ricky, with Banzo and Mel. But I was still singing with the old guys. I must say, no, I said, they're too old for me. I did come to them and ambush them the practice one time. I said, yo, as Mel said, it's Uno Moa sing with. And pretty much the rest is history.
So there's truth to what they were saying. All right, 8:26 on the Family Station, Love 101. We are inside Center Stage. Our special guest this evening, Word. The Word is always with us, but Word is visiting this evening. One of the songs that you were known for this song. Yeah, I'm going to stick it in right now.
I've been to Coney Island. Coney Island is so clean.
You're tuned to Love 101, the family station.
Jamaica, are you ready for a revival fire? Join us April 11 to 13 at Fellowship Tabernacle Kingston for Friday Fires. Fresh fire, 3 days of healing, prophecy, and revival with Apostle Toby and Prophetess Nicola Araimi, Prophet Dwight and Prophetess Nadine Guy. David Nights in London, Dubai, Ireland, and Dallas. Now, Kingston, it's your time. Admission is free. Come expectant, come ready. Fresh fire is here. Follow at Light Jamaican Instagram for more info. Sponsored by Fellowship Tabernacle, Love 101 FM, Q-Tire Holdings, and St. Mary's.
The world is changing and so should you. Diversify your career and get local and international certification in 2 to 6 months at Distinction College. Start online and face-to-face class in medical assistant, medical lab tech, pediatrics, and psychiatric nursing, ECG tech, home attendant, hairdressing, makeup, nail tech, call center, supervisory and events planning management, cashiering, media broadcasting, and travel tourism. Register this week and get free subjects and free courses. No subjects required, no age limit. Visit us in Kingston, Spanish, and St. Elizabeth. Call us at 876-356-47.
Music machine, Nigel Wilkinson on Love 101.
Hey, yeah, we're here. What's that?
Somebody calling or something.
Melbourne calling in, Junior.
No, that was the car.
We're live. We are live on Love 101, the family station.
Who's that?
Members of the group Word. We are here and reflecting on Word. We just got a historical rundown. Listening back to that song, Osifuni Munga. Tell us, who played keys on that?
Well, just a little more background. Okay, you had mentioned that that's a song we're known for.
Yes.
But the one we're known for was a different version. It was more the African sounding one.
Yes.
We sing live. And that we actually recorded that song on that version on our first album. But for this album, which is our second album, Melbourne did this arrangement.
Okay.
Melbourne did this, and he actually made the track and everything.
Yes.
And he's playing and so on. And then we asked Corey Clark to come and just add some of those little frills and the keyboard solos. And
that first album. Okay.
But you lay the foundation there, so
the first album. Do you have that digitized anywhere?
I have it somewhere. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Hint, 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 hint.
I get the picture.
Yeah, that can work. That can work. So, over the years, our overseas folks, well, I don't know how far overseas they are, but we have Mel. Mel, which part of the world are you? You drop
At
asleep?
this particular moment in time, I am in, where am I now? Queens. I was actually
Queens.
on the road. I had to pull over. Yeah, I had to pull over. I don't live in Queens, though. Please, no. But I'm in New York, and I was
Okay.
on the road, and I'm in a Burger King parking lot somewhere in Queens. I was trying to get home, and I wasn't able to. But check it out. Outside cold. I was standing outside. I'm like, yo, this is too cold for stand up. So I'm back in the car, which is why my camera is off. It's dark.
Okay. All right. No problem. No problem. Ricardo.
I'm in Northwest Ontario, Canada.
Wow. Is it cold there also?
Yes, freezing.
Okay, just check it in.
You
Just
said
check it
freezing,
in.
no, you said?
Yeah, that's freezing. Okay. So your guys. Let me start with Mel. So you were there from the beginning, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
The funny story. I remember that day. Banjo came up to you, and Banjo just walked up to me and said, "You can sing?" That was it. And I find myself in a quartet.
Just like that?
Just like that, Banjo. Bertrand, you can sing? I'm saying, yeah. All right, come. And then bring me right under the lime tree at the back of the church, right by the pipe stand. I will rehearse if we ever, and that was it.
Wow.
There's a lot of informal stuff.
Yeah, I have had opportunity in studio and other places to hear you guys, and you guys can write a few books about, especially some about how many years ago you celebrated which anniversary?
30th anniversary in 2019.
2019.
But it's a historian. He has all of it.
Yeah, I was there for part of the service, and I will confess, a couple of times, water come in my eye. Hearing, just hearing the brotherhood, the laughter, and clearly sometimes in the testimonies you're sharing in the service, some of those touching moments, just going through life as young men and getting married and starting families and laughing and everybody quarrels, but I'm sure quarrels happen.
Of course.
They said quickly, of course. Yeah, go ahead, Mel.
Oh Lord, Mel, don't.
Oh, Mel, yes.
No. Listen, I'll tell you this.
Just bear in mind, this is a family station, okay?
Of course. But we were all teenagers, So we're all finding out about ourselves and finding out about life and finding out about each other. Jason was a very serious brother when he joined, and he's the complete opposite after a couple of years. So we all kind of influenced each other. And it was crazy then. Him still have no sense now. Ivan was always, everybody just learned to basically lean and feed off each other. And I wouldn't have had it any other way, because I think if word practice 50%, I'll go 25% of the time we spent together, just a 25% of the time we spent together would have been would have done much more. But I think the music was the byproduct of the friendship, and that is insane.
Wow. The music was a byproduct of the friendship.
Absolutely.
It kind of was, because we would have rehearsal between 7 and 9, and strictly speaking, we probably rehearsed for 25-30 minutes of those 2 hours, because for the whole time Dave would give a joke, Bob would take it and run with it, then Adi would give a next one, and we'd all end up laughing, and we just keep repeating the cycle.
Wow. Tell us about, if you can, the fact that you guys got started over 30 years ago, have gone through the change of members, but yet still so closely knit as brethren.
It was sorry, it was rooted in friendships to begin with, because I was from the country. I want my best friend at the time was who I was hanging out with the day I met Banzo, and Bob introduced me to Banzo as his friend. So I was befriended by Banzo because he knew Bob, but I also knew Bob. And then we met Dave and Iban after Banzo brought me in. So we kind of just like leapfrog on every other relationship. And it was just one of those weird things that you grow up together. So you kind of have this brotherhood. You don't get away from it. You might grow older, but you grow older with the people you know for a very, very long time. We've known each other since
And
'89.
if I may add to that, Nigel. Sorry, Mel.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
You see, we spent a lot of time together because we were apart from Jason, who was at Greenwich Town before he moved his membership after some time. So we were all from Wellington Town, right? And we would pretty much every week we would be flexing together, whether at Sabbath school, midday service, during lunch, AY, Friday nights after rehearsal, we'd spend another 2 hours just chatting on the street side till midnight, and so our bond became so tight, and there were so many firsts for us. For example, I remember football. We're all fans of football, and I remember when we went to the national stadium where the South African team was playing the Reggae Boys, and I can tell you, we had to learn and pretty much audition for Captain Forrest Burrell and his team, the national anthem of South Africa. And we did a rendition of that in the national stadium. There's once where the US team played and we sang the national anthem in national stadium, to pack stadiums. And so those experiences, and pretty much every week we had a church or two to go to. We were very, very busy. We had Banzo had his access to his father's car, a Ford Escort. About a 1965 Ford Escort.
Yellow.
Right, yellow. And you'd find about 12 of us, because even though it was 8, 9 of us singing, you'd find extended friends and girlfriends traveling with us, and you'd find even a dozen of us, 13 of us, holding in that little Ford Escort, moving from one church to the other every week. So it was very difficult not to become tight.
Yes, yes.
And to this day, this is how it is. I mean, we didn't mention, if you mentioned Dwayne, but Dwayne is in London. He was a bassist when Jason retired and said that he preferred to sing baritone and went to baritone. we had brought in Dwayne to sing the bass, and so Dwayne is probably sleeping right now in England. So we're all very, 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 very tight amidst our differences.
I find that interesting because I think young men today, don't cherish, I don't see the value of such close friendships. And the fact that after so many years, hirings and firings, there's still a tightness. That speaks volumes. Definitely.
But here's the thing, Nigel, one thing we also have to be clear on, we had disagreements, it's not that it was all wine and roses. We had disagreements, but the great thing is that we always found a way to find that middle ground where everybody understood each other's perspective. And that's how you grow. That's why everybody's still tied to this day, because, we've learned how to become men together.
Yeah.
And one thing that I really, really admired about us is that we were always frank and real with each other. We always kept it real.
Exactly.
I think that really helped us with our growth and even personal development. And that bond also helped us on a professional level too, because when you see one person moving through and being successful, that is kind of magnetic.
Kind of pulls you and drives you.
Want you to be successful as well. So it's not just about the music, the friendship, the bonds was amazing.
Someone commenting, no traffic police back then.
Well, to add to what Adi said about the car, we call the car the Germs, by the way. And it was so packed that sometimes bands would be driving and somebody else would have to be changing the gear. And bands say, what?
Fortunately for you guys, tickets cannot be issued retroactively.
But you talk about arguments, Nigel, and I remember one big we have had many arguments, you know. I won't mention that one, Jago. But
yeah.
When we were recording our first album, and it was our first time in studio, so we assumed that we just all 8 of us would form a semicircle around a single mic and sing the song, and it would be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried that, and it just wasn't working. And when we left the studio, their argument pull over the side of the road and about an hour was cussing. Are you you're cussing? And I went home thinking that, boy, this is the end of the group. But
wow.
we stuck it out. We stuck it out, and yeah, here we are. And just to add a little bit, so I mentioned that we started with 4, then we went to 8, then we went to 9, then we came back to 8, and then probably mid-90s maybe, or mid-97, like a transition where Melbourne migrated. I think John went to school or some transition, and then the group went down a bit, and we had a little lull for a little while, and then Dwayne and Carol were singing, who from Wellington as well, a little younger than the quote unquote than the founding members, but they were talented, and we recognize the talent, and we asked them to join us.
Okay.
And that's when Jason quote unquote retired and started singing baritone.
Tell the story the right way, man. Tell the right story, man.
I'm trying to be diplomatic. So Jason retired
from man. Tell the story the right way, man. The man was ousted.
It was suggested that Jason sing baritone, It was suggested, and he gladly accepted the suggestion.
Did I?
So Dwayne sang bass, and then Carol joined as a lead singer. Yeah. And then there was Dal Keith, who joined as well. He used to sing in another group called the Ephesians, one of the wickedest first tenors you'll ever hear. Yeah. So over the years, that it transformed into or morphed into Dal Keith, Carol, myself, Adi, Jason, and Dwayne. And that was the group that recorded on the second album.
Okay.
Well, some input from Mel. He actually sang, and Dave actually sang on that album as well. But it was mainly the 6 of us. So those are the what do you call it? Iterations or incarnations of word over the years. Yeah.
Anything to add, Ricardo? You're kind of quiet. Okay, nothing from Ricardo. Right? Okay.
No,
yes.
I think they have covered everything really. Not much to add because it will be just repetitions.
Okay, all right, no problem. 8:46 on the Family Station, Love 101. We have in studio and online members of Word, and for those listening on the FM dial, you can in fact have a little idea of what's happening if you go to Love FM's Facebook page or YouTube channel. Yep. Okay. From the second album, I'm going to grab another song for a quick break. They're moving on. Well, Jason moved on.
I'm moving on, yeah, to a higher ground. I'm moving on, yeah, to a place I found. I'm gonna take it on the level, yeah, out of the clutches of the devil and move on. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna leave this world, I know. I'm gonna take myself to where the greener pastures grow. I'm gonna take it on the level, out of the clutches of the devil, and move on. I'm moving on, gonna walk that higher ground. I'm gonna walk those streets of gold. Gonna get my crown. No, I can't wait to get there. Peace of mind is mine. I'm gonna move up, move on down that road. I gotta now find a better home. I'm gonna knock on heaven's door. Move on. I wanna weep no more. I'm gonna take it on the level, get out of the clutches of the devil. Move on, move on, move on, move on. Move on, I'm gonna see my Jesus. Move on, I'm gonna see my Lord and walk the streets of gold to see where Jesus lives. I'm moving to you, my Father's home. Never to run from my Jesus. And so there is nothing, there is nothing here for me. I'm going to move on. I'm moving on. Moving. I wanna stay. The way I am. Come with me. You and me, we should be moving on and on. I found a better eternity. You and me, we should be moving on and on. Moving.
Hey, moving on. Doing Fine. From the album Doing Fine, the group Word. And tell us a little bit about that song.
Well, this song, Nigel, back to the days of cassettes, Junior loaned me a cassette he had with various songs on it, and I heard he wrote the song, Melbourne, and he had it on. He was singing all the parts, and I'm say
he's good like that.
Yeah, wicked. So I'm say, Virgin, why do the song? I could sing the song, no? I said, I said, no, man, I have sing the song, man. So I took it and I added one and two verses and that's how it came about. So started with Melbourne, and I think we learned it just a short while before we started our first album. So it's on the first album, but when we did the second album, we redid it a little better. Yeah.
Lead vocals?
Well, on the first album, it was Melbourne, myself, and Chris Bennett. And on this album, it's Carol, Dalkeith, and myself.
Okay, Dalkeith. Where is Dalkeith?
He's in New York as well.
Wake him up. Sorry. Okay. We are going to be at 9 o'clock, kind of shifting gears into another aspect of the life of Word, but kind of holding on to that a little bit. So, just curious, the service that was held 2019, was that recorded for posterity?
Oh boy.
Oh Lord.
I have lost. Yeah. Well, it amounts to the whole program, but it's not in one go.
Okay.
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
So will somebody spend some time to put it together?
We can. I can do that. Yeah.
Put it this way: for the years I've been in radio, I've been to places, I've seen things, I've heard things, and I've asked, for example, can I get a copy? And some persons, and this is not a hint, I'm just getting somewhere. Some persons have shared, and I have it in my vault, and like 10, 15 years after, they're like, Nigel, you do have that still, right? And I'm like, yeah, wow, because so me not have it at all anywhere. And okay, here you go, I want to encourage you, get it done. Get it done, have it finished, because there will come a time
We're going to want it.
you're going to need it. You're going to need it. So know that I know you don't have the time, but know that you have some time. Get it done. Get it done.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So what has Word been up to over the years? You have all these foreigners who are no longer here. Technology allows you to record nonetheless, but there's a second album that was recorded. When was that album, by the way?
The second album was 1999. The first one was either 94 or 95.
So what's been happening with Word? Like, is Word around? Can we have Word to sing at a convention, or has Word retired as you retired a member?
Well, as I would say, as it is now, because a good amount of the group is overseas, it would be very unlikely that we'd be performing live unless the guys from overseas, come down as well. Because I think in Jamaica there's just 4 of us: me, Jason, Dave, and Bob. Right. Me, Jason, Dave, Bob, and Adi. Yes, and Patrick.
Okay.
So five of us. So yeah, it's unlikely that we'll be singing live. But yes, we have done recordings. The first one we did was He's Got the Whole World in His Hand, arranged by Carol, which was a short thing. And then shortly after that, there's a song we have been working on from 2016, What a Wonderful World, which Junior arranged, and Lisa Davis sang the lead, wicked vocalist, which we took years to finish, and we released in, I think it was 2020. So that's on our YouTube. We actually have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
So that's on our YouTube channel, and we have done a few more. We put the It's Alright video on the YouTube channel, which we recorded in 2000. There's a Christmas song, Oh Holy Night.
Okay.
Led by Enza, a Jamaican who now lives in Switzerland. Nice recording. And we have a live version of Lord, I Want to Be a Christian in My Heart, which is on the YouTube channel as well, which we sang when a few members came down a few years ago.
So Word the Family is still strong.
Yes.
But Word the Singing Group.
Say that again into the microphone.
So Word the Family
is
still strong. That bond is still strong, unbroken.
Okay.
But Word the Singing Group is not so strong.
It's not. Okay. Well, anything is possible in coming. So is there a possibility of a third album?
I would say definitely yes, in terms of a possibility. I'm not saying we will record a third album, but as I say, with technology, you can be anywhere in the world and record. In fact, that Christmas song that we did with Enza, I mean, Wonderful World took us 5 years to record, but the Christmas song took us 1 week.
Wow.
Because Christmas is coming up, and Junior said, "Hey, we need to get this out right away, record this."
Yeah.
And when you have a deadline, you meet the deadlines. And we recorded that.
So maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe you need to hold us accountable. Maybe right
I'm
here.
getting here. I'm getting there.
Give us a deadline.
I think it's
All the night it was 3 days, man. 3 days.
3 days, right. And that was both vocals, mixing, and a video.
Wow.
Yeah, and a video. Yeah.
I mean, the fact is, you guys are a talented group of guys, and
Thank you very
so
much.
many of you. I honestly see no reason why you can't do another album, even if you're not performing as a group.
And we have some songs already arranged that are sitting there waiting to be vocalized. If that's right. Yeah. So yeah.
And I'm going somewhere. I think where we're going in the final 30 minutes, it will be a tremendous tribute and honor to put out that third album.
Yeah. Especially seeing that we have 2 songs that we recorded and that are not on any albums.
Okay.
And we have another one that we have been working on, and there are about one or two others that we have been arranged that have not been recorded as yet. So I think we have material. If you add some more,
Yeah,
Melbourne is a guy who can arrange a song. In hear bird chirp and say, "What? I'm getting an idea and was arrange a song."
So is August too soon?
August next year.
So this
2025.
Oh.
To finish one song or to finish a whole?
Hold on. The 30th anniversary was 2019.
Yeah.
19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Oh, you missed 35.
Yeah, 25 would have been last year.
Yeah. So yeah, we need less time because the time is in minus. Come on, by the end of the year, by the end of 2025, y'all can put together another album.
We
and just remember the tribute line, thanks to Nigel.
Well, they said to talk about thanks to Nigel. I'm saying thanks to Nigel, not just for now, but from the 90s, because I remember we used to
bombard.
We used to come from a concert and say, "Hey, make a go link Nigel from Lower FM, no?"
Just like
I was barging and
never said no.
And
invade Nigel's studio.
Yeah, invade the studio and was a chat, and when the program done over there, I chat and everything,
Yeah.
the music and and things. What those you were a big supporter of us, Nigel. And
before we had Grace.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. Right. So I can safely say that Word wouldn't have achieved what we have achieved without your input. I mean, other persons, of course, but with your input and Love FM's input, because other artists from Love FM. So we big up Nigel and we thank you for
praise.
Thank you for
I am the 10th member of Word.
Yeah.
For real.
11th.
I'm being corrected. 11th.
Who's the 10th, Banzo?
No man, remember that we expanded to about 10,
No man, the most was 9 at one time.
See why we need to document.
You need to document it.
But I think over the years there have been about 13 or 14 members in Word.
Okay, I'll be number 15. Anyway, it's 9 o'clock on the family station. We're going to do a little transition with this song, Spread Love.
Yeah.
Now I just want to tell everybody who's in the hearing of my voice that as human beings, we need to live in love and unity. So guess what? I'm going to tell you about some real life situations right now. I believe everyone out there just have to live in love.
One day I was walking down the road. Oh, I saw a big man on the street side, street side. So I reached down in my pockets and took out $2. Cause that was all I had to give. Yeah. It was coming from the heart, and I knew it was the start. See the benefits of love. Yeah. Spread love in the city. Spread love in the town. Spread love all around. Yeah. Spread love in the city. Spread love in the town. Oh, come on. Just the other day, hear somebody say, what we gonna do? Cause I don't have
The tragedy.
Send me bird away. Hungry soon be gone away. All we got to do,
just a prayer.
So we lift up our heart, and he satisfies our needs. Now today we sing his praise. It was coming from the heart, and I knew it was the start. See the benefits of love. Oh, yeah. Spread love in the city. Spread love in the town. Spread love. Spread it all around. Spread love in the city. Spread love in the town. Come on, yeah, one more time. Spread love in the city. Spread love in the town. Spread it around. Spread it around. We all need love. We all need peace. We all need hope and prosperity. Yeah. All of us children, come on now. Oh, listen to me. Spread it around. Spread it around. Spread it around. All over the world, everybody's got. Everywhere you go, let the whole world know now. Come on, spread it all around now. Yeah. Spread it all around now.
Hey, 3 minutes after 9 o'clock on the family station Love 101, the final half hour, well, actually 27 minutes now, or less, of Center Stage with Word. Now, where did I go? Oh, Michelle Phillips is commenting. Remember those days, man? Those days of Word up and down and singing and performing. Blessed days. The challenge of growing up as young men, and I'm sure you all are at everybody else's wedding and at the blessing a baby and all kind of stuff, you know. There's a tough time when you lose a member.
Very tough. Yeah.
And so we want to kind of dedicate this final segment to someone who, I mean, well, let me let you guys talk.
Well, Carol was, we knew him from he was a very wee lad, you know. Of course, way before he joined Word, he loved singing.
Mm-hmm.
He would, after church, I'd be walking around the back, and I see him stop here in front of me and say, "Uncle Iban," you come Uncle Iban. You know, I wrote this song and you want to hear it? And them days he used to write some 10-minute song, you know.
He was being prophetic because nowadays that's the average length of a song.
You know, the first 2 minutes of the song was ad-libbing, and I had to you know, I couldn't, young youth, I want to encourage him, so I used to just listen to him and you know,
singing isn't that everybody's.
And then he joined the youth choir, and you know, and then when he came of age, and you know, he really matured as a singer. And at the time, we needed a singer because, as I said, due to various circumstances, migration and so on, and we asked him to join. We asked him to join the group, and he just fitted in. Great lead singer, great musician. You know, he was a writer, an arranger, a vocal coach. You know, and of course, you know, Word being an a cappella group, because you have some persons who can sing lead, but they can't harmonize.
Okay,
you know, but he could harmonize. He was just and above all, he was a great friend. You know.
Yeah. Outside of Carol's great talent, for me, my fondest memories of Carol is about him always being upbeat. I can't ever recall Carol being down. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, he's no matter, and I'm telling you, a lot hit him in life, a lot. I mean, he went through a whole lot, but no matter what, he's the kind of guy that you say, glass half full, every time. Yeah, glass half full. And I remember years ago, I happened to be in Montego Bay, and with family, and Carol, he made the effort I mean, I'm not sure exactly where in Montego Bay he was, but I just heard that he called and he said he's downstairs. He's downstairs. Yeah, and I went down and there was Carol. I mean, he just heard that I was passing through Montego Bay and he made the effort to come and look for me. And we spent a solid 3 to 5 minutes together. And I'm telling you, it's the most memorable. Every time I think back on Carol, I remember that moment because he didn't have to come. You know, he didn't have to come, but he made the effort. And he came and he just looked and we hugged and we laughed and we greeted for 3 to 5 minutes and he was off. And I tell you, that made my day.
Yeah.
And that in a sense that kind of summed up who Carol was. You know, he was giving. He was selfless. He was always just bouncing, just full of life and joy. And you know, that's what you take of it. Positivity. Yeah. Personified. You know, that was Carol for me, you know. I never forget the guy.
And as Jason spoke about going to Mobe, I think the year before he passed, the Word guys met up to spend a weekend together.
Right.
And I was invited, but I had some issues and I couldn't come. You know, and I regretted not being, well, I wouldn't say I regretted because I wasn't able to go, but you know, I felt bad that I couldn't go.
Yeah.
And then he passed away the next year, and then after he passed, we got together for another weekend. And I said, when I was there, I said, boy, you know, if I'd gotten to come the last time, you know.
Wow.
But that wasn't. But I saw him after that though, about a few months before he passed in Kingston. But I remember that sometime, about 2 years before, I went to Mobe, and I went to see him, and he and I sat down together for about hour and a half, just chatting and but in and everything. Me and him alone, just chatting and laughing and life and that was my. Just as how Jason has that memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that last, it wasn't the last I saw him, but one of the last times, and that really has stuck with me and has meant a lot to me. And he's, I don't know what to say. He'll be missed is an understatement.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I have to share this though, because Carl was kind of like Carl was almost like the little brother that everybody never had. Because he was the youngest member of the group at that time. So he was like everybody's little brother. And during the year that Carol passed, my brother actually passed maybe 2 weeks before he did. And as it turns out, Carol was supposed to sing at my brother's funeral. And my last message from Carol was him reaching out to me to ask me how I was doing.
Oh, wow.
That is Carol.
Yeah. Wow. I think we have
Shorna.
Shorna, are you there? I'm just checking. This would be
his girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not sure if she's there. Adi, any reflections on Carol?
Yeah, man. As the man mentioned, I remember Carol, the newest member of the group, right? And he was in a, what should I say now? I remember Sister Maynard Reed, right? Was his guardian. And we would have rehearsal. And rehearsal was supposed to end, for argument's sake, rehearsal was supposed to end at 8 o'clock. That's argument's sake. I don't remember the time. And Carol would love the music so much that he was to get home at 8 o'clock, right? At 8 p.m. And up to 7:59, Carol would still be there singing to singing his part up to 7:59. And then he would try to take 1 minute to run home, which is usually probably about maybe a 8 minute run, and he would try to do it in 1 minute because he had to stay, and he would get look at cussing and thing and every week he would still do the same thing, right? Because he wanted to squeeze the last minute that he could, you know, into the rehearsal. Carol, out of all of us, Carol was one where nothing would seem to upset Carol. You know, like hear how, you know, as big brothers you might, you know, you might scold him or people upset around him. He was just a lively person, such a personality that you know, he was the gel among us. Um Such a calm, jovial guy. It's almost like, I don't know. I've in my many years, my many decades of life, I've never seen one person who nothing seemed to could have upset Carell. I don't know. He was a great actor, but I don't think anybody could act so well. You know, to be consistent, the man just not upset Carell, right? And he would move right along. So he was missed. I mean, we had our moments, but he was missed, for sure. You- We always want to get together to record stuff remotely. He would be that individual to motivate us, to encourage us. It was, as an arranger, he would find time to meet with Iban, find time to meet with Melbourne, just to get things done. And boy, he will missed. He will be missed. He will be
You
missed.
know, as you touch on this music thing, Nigel, you mentioned something about doing a project for August. August is not going to be happening, I'll tell you now. But we we have we had a song that we were supposed to be doing. Carol sang lead vocals on it, and it was unreleased, and it was never finished. And we have the stems, and we were working on an arrangement to finish that song. And we have been trying. You say Iban told you that Wonderful World took like 5 years. We have been trying to record this song with Carol for like maybe 2 years now,
Wow.
and we can't do it. The first time I tried to record my vocals on it, I bawled like a 10-month-old baby, man. I couldn't do it. Because just listening to the vocals and say, yo, this man really not around, I cried. I won't hide it. I bawl, man. Bawl, bawl, bawl. So August is not a realistic timeline for anything, because this song is going to take maybe the next 4 years to finish.
Well, you know, crying through a song is good. I'm just saying. But I understand.
I think we can finish it this year, Junior. It will be rough, but I think we can finish it this year.
We were trying to do it last year for his birthday, and it never happened.
Well, his birthday is August 19th, so let's.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Making all this work.
So I don't think we'll do an album by August 19th, but let's work towards releasing that song on August 19th. Is August 19th a Saturday night? You can look until
August. August 19 is Tuesday.
Okay.
So you can get it to me on the 16th.
Yeah, man, no problem. book us, please. Book us. Book that.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, man.
Let me just squeeze this song in. 17 minutes after 9 o'clock on the family station Love 101.
Standing alone, shaking, shivered, broken, holding what's left of your life. Watching the world rushing by as a token of failures that cut like a knife.
That's just that's just a taste of the song being worked on for August.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Can be done.
We're working even for August.
Mel,
Even for August, yes.
Mel, where are you, Mel?
Yeah, man, I'm here, man. That song, yeah.
You good?
That song, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, listeners, it's the first time I'm hearing, and I can't play any more of it. I'm under bondage. But just hearing the first line of it, I kind of have to take a deep breath, Nigel. You're going live. You have to keep it together. It's going to be something. Going to be something. Yeah.
It's definitely going to be something. And for anybody who never knew, Carl is an incredible vocalist. He's an incredible. The man put on some vocals on that recording, Nigel. I'm telling you,
Wow.
it's really powerful singing. Really, really, really powerful stuff. It's gonna be rough, but it's gonna be a really good production. The arrangement is solid. Iban and I have been working on it. I know the guys going to put out some good stuff on it, and it's going to be good when it's done. Getting it done is the hurdle, but I'm hopeful that we'll get it done, because when it's done, it's going to be really nice.
Wow. Well, I get permission to play a little bit more.
Yeah.
Your effort has paid, and the hero is you. Every man is a teacher. Through life, there's a guide. Self-forgiveness, the healer. So stand firm with pride. If you see someone crying, no, you're not the only one. So come on, be my hero. Help somebody stay strong.
Yeah. It rough. 9:20 on the Family Station, Love 101. When you lose someone that close and you're supposed to sing along now, it must be rough. But yeah. We have in studio some members of Word. Yeah, I'm losing it. Members of Word and also online. And God willing, later this year, a selection, and if they can pull it off, we'll give them till next year, 2026, for the album. Give me some time.
We'll get there.
Yeah, definitely. When was it that Carol passed?
2023, I think April 9.
Okay, yeah.
April 9,
That's, he got the stroke, I think, April 8.
Yeah. I remember, because, like I say, I'm the 18th member of Word, and I remember getting the text messages like, Nigel, yeah, and I was like, wow.
Some of us were actually on our way, because we heard about, that he was in hospital, and we were actually on our way down to visit him on the Sunday. I remember I was driving and Jason was behind me. And then at some point we're on the North Coast and Jason pulled around and then he just pulled over. I said, "What?" I said, "Boy, just come out and shake him." And I said, "Boy, get the news."
Yeah.
That was it, you know?
What it's interesting, having grown up together, there comes that change, the phases of life. This one have girlfriend, and then that one have girlfriend, and that one get married, and da-da-da-da. And then picnic start born, and, you get together, Uncle so-and-so, and all of that. and then you reach that stage where it's time to say goodbye, and the challenge that comes with that. With the passing of Karel, I suspect you guys have spent a lot of time reflecting, a lot of time bawling, but what is the message in terms of friendship, cherishing friendships, building friendships? I've not heard anyone say that he was contentious. It's all good things, but the fact is, as friends, it's not all easygoing. What kind of word and lessons learned the passing of Karel about cherishing friendships, keeping in touch? Some people have this way, you don't call me, so me not call you, kind of a thing. Any positive coming out of passing?
I could sum it in 2 words: live good.
Okay.
And the Bible says, as much as is possible, in your power, live peaceably with all men.
Mm-hmm.
I would say spend as much time as you can with your family. Make the most of every moment. Make the most of your relationship with God, and love. I mean, it sounds cliche. So it really sounds cliche, but at the end of the day, if we were to all love each other and treat each other well, we'd have no regrets, and just live life to the fullest. Love hard, play hard, fun hard. Stay in touch with friends. I have some friends in word and otherwise where sometimes I talk to them once a year, maybe on their birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And even when it's just the once a year, it's still a meaningful conversation. We spend time together, so make the most of every moment with yourself, your family, with God, and just live life to the fullest, because we don't know how much more time left we have here on this side of eternity.
Yeah. Yep. So true.
The time to pray. She will show the way. Let's sing about
5 minutes left to go. I'm going to allow those. Hold on. Let me see. I see. Okay. Still trying to see if Carol's girlfriend is on. Doesn't appear that way. No. Okay. So with 4.5 minutes left to go, we're gonna give the folks who are joining us from Farin and those who are local but not here to a closing word before we go. Let's see, Ricardo, Banzo. Haven't heard from Dean either.
Man's a phone freeze up.
Okay, Banza is frozen. All right.
Is Dean online? Dean wasn't a member of Word, but he's our brother, me and Dave's brother, and he knew Carol very well, and they actually sang in a group together as well. So Dean is online. I don't know if
Dean want to share something quickly. Your mic is open. Not hearing you. Oh, Dean. Okay. Let me just check. Adi, still there? I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, man.
Okay, yes, you're there. So it's not a problem with my microphone. Looks like Banza and Dean's mics, they're all frozen. Yeah, any final words before we go? 3 minutes to go.
Nigel, well, could I?
Yeah, go ahead, because Adi just vanished.
But this is not about Carol, but just about Word in general.
Sorry, Amanda. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. We were pretty well known, and how would I say it now? I think President George seen us sing at concerts, and the dance moves and the up-tempo songs and that kind of thing. But I must say that Word as a group, we were more comfortable singing those nice, slow, more, well, I don't know if I should say more meaningful songs, but maybe the more touching songs, more reflective songs.
Yes.
And, you know, there's one thing when somebody come and say, boy, my youth and the sound good, and that would make you feel good. But when a person come and say, boy, that song touched me and I was moved and you know, you have strengthened my relationship with the Lord. I think those kind of moments where I don't know if I should say I'm singing for the group, but for me and I could say for the group, were more meaningful than to say, boy, it's so nice.
Yeah.
But the person said, boy, when you guys sang a while ago, I was touched and I was moved to, you know, those moments are, you know, which will stick with me probably more than boy, it's so nice.
Yeah.
You know,
I can appreciate.
A little bit of that has to do with the fact that those songs tend to allow you to be more creative when you're making the arrangement. So the arrangement would lend to the sound, and it was more like it was easier to get that effect from the arrangement that we wanted to do. So it kind of played into that hand because we wanted a particular sound. That sound lended to that mood. That mood created this atmosphere. So it was kind of like what we were good at that time.
Yeah, I think Ricardo, Banza, you're there.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Yeah,
I hope you can hear me.
I realized the error that was here. Yeah, yes, Banza, go ahead.
I'd just like to join with what Iban and Junior said, that we kind of, well, it felt more meaning when we did the songs that persons could come and say, well, you know, you touched that song kind of made me reflect on my relationship, or you know, it draw me closer to the Father. You know, it made me want to go back to church, or it made me want to pray. And those, as Iban said, that those are the occasions that we felt gratifying. You know, I don't think I can say anything else really.
Wow. Dean, you're there. You're in. Go ahead.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, go right ahead.
To speak. I know that we have moved on from the discussion about Carl, but I, as a younger musician to Iban and Ricky and Adi and Mel, along with Carl, would look up to them, and I also looked up to Carl because they didn't know of a slur a song, you know. I know it sounds
for real.
It sound kind of Monday to say, but it's a true thing. I do can't ever make an half note yet, and him can say 3 words: "I love God," and about 27 different notes in each of the words. You know, so I was blessed to be able to sing along with him as a junior choir member. Then we had a smaller group than Word, as Iban was explaining, and then we had formed another group, but it never took off because, fortunately for Carol, you know, Word grafted him in along with Dwayne. Dwayne was on, I don't know. I came on late, along with Dwayne, right? So I was glad to have been in a musical group with him. I miss him just as much as everybody miss him. I mean, I'm younger than these guys, and just Carol is younger, so we'd have played football more than from earlier days and them things. But whether it's early football or late football, it was still a brother that we hang out with. And I just, as the band said, please remember to just cherish your family members, cherish your close friends.
Yeah.
I know that I take up all the time, so I'm gonna shut up.
That's all right. well, guys, gotta go. It's been another great evening. Thank you guys for joining from overseas. And let's see what happens come August, even for one song. Squeeze in for a few minutes. That's right. And then I will plan for next year the release of the album. Bless you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Gotta go. It's now 9:32. And we now invite you to listen to programming produced by the Jamaica Information Service and aired in time allowed for government broadcasts.
GIS News, a roundup of government lead stories for the week.
The shared prosperity through accelerated improvement to our road network SPARK project is forecasted to generate 13,000 direct jobs during the construction phase of its implementation. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation with responsibility for works, Robert Morgan, made the disclosure during a statement to the House of Representatives on Tuesday.
An additional 42 roads will be included in Work Order 4. SPARK will revolutionize road development and improvement in our country. The initiative will improve our economic efficiency, bolster our tourism appeal, and create employment opportunities. It is projected to generate over 13,000 direct